Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy. Thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today, October 16th, 2024. It's a beautiful day and a wonderful evening. Let's give a shout out to the chat. Good to see you, Lisa. Much love. Valerie, good to see you. Taz, good morning. Nikosmas, good evening. Foundations, good to see you. Daphne, good evening. Holler Haint, much love. Good to see you, Nathan. Christy, much love. Good to see you, D-Love. Gandhi, great to see you. All right. Isaac, much love. N.A., great to see you. Rachel K., thank you for joining. Much love. All right. So let's start off by talking a bit about the astrology. Hey, Walter, much love. Today's astrology, we're still in that moon in Aries, that fiery, passionate, forceful energy, right? When we're under this emotive fire, we want to dive deep into ourselves. We want to embrace that inspiration, that tension, and use it for that forward momentum to bring transformation and growth into our life. And luckily, with that sun in Libra, we can also temper this fire of Aries with that bright sun of Libra that seeks that justice, harmony, and balance. And we can take that fiery inspiration to where it needs to go, enough to move us forward and enough to bring that transformation without causing us to burn anyone or burn ourselves, right? It's a powerful moment, right? When you feel that tension of Aries, it's telling you either something's not right or something is great. And either way, you got to move. You got to do something. You either need to go for that thing or you need to change your action. But either way, it's about that inspiration and that movement. All right. So let's go to our Ghana. Well, actually, sorry, before I do that, let's talk a bit about the title, and then I want to read you guys a poem here. So the title, Seek Equilibrium in the Self and in the World Around You. When I was meditating this morning, I drew the art card, and the art card is really beautiful energy of co-creation, but it's also this energy of balance, of balancing through incorporation, about finding the middle path in the self or finding what is needed through partnership, through collaboration and self-expansion, through the inclusion of others, through the embracing of multiplicity of perspectives for that purpose of new growth and creation. So when we see this energy, we want to bring that equilibrium in multiple ways. We want to find it in ourselves. We want to balance that unconscious with our conscious, right? We want to find a steady center. If you ignore the unconscious, it will reflect in the body. You'll be anxious, you'll get sick, you'll feel terrible, right? So you got to find a place of peace where everything is at that equilibrium. But this is also true with the universe and the way we flow with everyone around us. If you're constantly engaging in conflict, that's not equilibrium. And know when to pick your battles, right? Sometimes it's just to speak truth, right? And you need to speak justice to power. But at the same time, engaging in petty squabbles for the point of petty squabbles is pointless. It only creates frustration, right? So we want to seek that way to move with others, to harmonize with others. We want to find the balance we need in ourselves through community, right? Through loving friendship, through collaboration and partnership with others. We are not simply an individual. We are also members of humanity, and we can engage in loving communication and experience together and expand ourselves. Recognize that you are limited as an individual. You do have that potential to deeply understand so much of the universe, but you can only see things through your own eyes unless you are willing to listen and learn from the world around you and utilize the tools that have been given you, either through technology or what have you. All right. And the poem I wanted to read for you guys, it's called Lilith's Lover by Madison Julius Kawine. Here we go. White art thou, O Lilith, as the foam that glitters and quivers, glitters and clingingly slivers and snows from the balm of the beautiful breasts of the nymph of the seas and rivers, that crystal and pearl by clusters of tropical palm. Cruel art thou, O Lilith, as spirits that battle in tempest and night, in ultimate realms of the earth, immaterial hosts that shimmer and shout and rattle, elemental armor and drive with madness and mirth. Down from the mountains into the sea like cattle, gaunt and glacial cattle, congealed thunder, the icebergs, gigantic of girth. Subtle art thou, O Lilith, as the sylphids that cover, dawn with their forms of rose and breeze it with breasts and cheeks, breasts that are blossoms and cheeks, pearls in the morning's creeks. And wily art thou as the demons of beauty that hover, raven of hair in sunset, trailing its gold with streaks. And what man, Lilith, beholding, would not yield himself thy lover? Beautiful one, thy lover, die as I died, Lilith, for the love that no tongue speaks. Before us, behold the long white thunder of ocean. Around us, the forest, a whispering world of trees. Above us, the glory and glitter, golden and silvery motion of infinite stars, O Lilith. And arrowing out of these down in my soul from these a sense of ancient despair, destruction, devotion, Medusa of beauty that slays, that is part of man's destinies. Oh, kisses, again would I die. Oh, kisses that slew me. Oh, beautiful body of sin. Oh, sin that was mine. Oh, splendor and whiteness of wickedness, passion that drew me. Golden of hair that drew me, draw me again with thine eyes, their azure divine. Slay me again with caresses, and let it pierce through me all the poignant desire that made me eternally thine. And the larvae, the lamias that cling to encumber, and bat-like feed at the Ethiop's breast of night, swarms like bubbles that rise from the shadowy pools of night. Owl-eyed, hag-haired, her minions awoke from their slumber, and peering and whispering came, O Lilith the white. But thou with thy beautiful hair from thy hideous number, the night of thy myriad number, covered me, dead at thy feet, and hid me from sight. Beautiful intensity, right? And a profound message of pursuing that love and engaging with the fullness of that image in all of its beauty and terror, right? And that loss of self in something that's so much greater than anything you can imagine. Wow. Let us now continue. We are going to go to our Ganapati oracle. Ganasha Ganapati is the divine child, the Lord of beginnings, the guardian of the thresholds, and the master of the Ganas. And we're going to ask them to send us an inspiring message and to ensure that our words are heard by those who need to hear them. So Ganapati, what is today's message? All right. Drive. And look at that beautiful image. Ganapati on his chariot, golden throned, pulled by giant mouse. Beautiful. And does this not resonate so deeply with the overall energy of the day, the moon in Aries, that fiery momentum, right? When I see this energy of the drive, I often think of the chariot. I think of Hephaestus, right? Building, working towards something, creating and moving forward in action, donning one's armor, right? And doing what is necessary for that transformation and that growth. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. And it's so important too. Yeah, Gandhi, I almost forgot. Because of my vacation here, everything is a little upside down for me. But you're right, it is full moon energy. Wow. Beautiful. Okay. We are now to hop to our sortes. For those of you unaware, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is, divination through literature. And it comes to us from the Greco Roman tradition. And we invoke the goddesses of inspiration, the divine muses, and we ask them to send us a message through the text. So today we are going to begin with Bernard Shaw, Don Juan in Hell. So, muses, what is the message from Bernard Shaw? Inspire us this evening. My point, you marble-headed old masterpiece, is only a step ahead of you. Are we agreed that life is a force which has made innumerable experiments in organizing itself? That the mammoth and the man, the mouse and the megatherium, the flies and the fleas and the fathers of the church are all more or less successful attempts to build up that raw force into higher and higher individuals, the ideal individual being omnipotent, omniscient, infallible, and withal completely, unilludedly self-conscious, in short, a god. And how does the devil reply? I agree for the sake of argument. Oh, wow. Interesting. Interesting. Because this is both a true and a false image, right? We are on this path of evolution and growth, but it is it's a generational project of many billions of lifetimes, right? There is great hubris in aspects of this. And I find it telling that they mention the church fathers, right? Because trying to do something in the immediate that is going to take evolution to accomplish, recognize where we're at in the universe, right? In this moment, before we can speak of enlightenment, we need to first learn how to live collectively in some kind of harmonious form. We are on a ball floating in the middle of a vacuum with limited resources and the powers to destroy it all. We need to deal with this stuff first. Let's continue. All right. We're now going to go to Women Who Run with the Wolves. Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Pinkola Estes? Inspire us. I worked with the woman who was quite taken advantage of by others, be they spouse, children, mother, father, or stranger. She was 40 years old and still at this bargain betrayal stage of inner development. By her sweetness, her warm and welcoming voice, her lovely manner, she not only attracted those who took away an ember from her, but so large a crowd gathered before her soulful fire that they blocked her from receiving any of its warmth herself. Oof. We all know people like this. We all know people like this. This to me is embodied often in the Queen of Cups energy. The Queen of Cups on one hand is the most beautiful mother, the most loving and caring of energy, the one who is always willing to give. But with that willingness to give, there is that potential to be taken advantage of. And we're in such a world where one needs to have that strength of self to not be taken advantage of. One needs to be able to move beyond, as the passage here puts it, that, what did she say? Beyond this bargain betrayal stage of where it's like you're constantly feeling that you have to do for others and you need to receive some kind of pat, some kind of loving affection, and you'll do anything to receive that. Oof. Recognize this energy. And while it may come from a loving place, we have to balance it with strength. We can't allow people to take advantage of us. And look what she says. The last bit really hit so hard. Such a light, whether it be the glow of a woman's creative, where was it? By her sweetness, her warm and welcoming voice, her lovely manner, she not only attracted those who took away an ember from her, but so large a crowd gathered before her soulful fire that they blocked her from receiving any of its warmth herself. Any of its warmth herself. If you're constantly giving and sending out love, and you don't reserve it for yourself, you will attract that kind of, for lack of a better term, vampiric energy. Right? Oof. All right. And it's so sad because those are the most caring people, right? The last people who should be taken advantage of. Okay. We're now going to go to The White Goddess by Robert Graves. All right. Muses, what is the message from Robert Graves? Inspire us. The fourth tree is the alder, the tree of Bran. In the battle of the trees, the alder fought in the front line, which is an allusion to the letter F being one of the first 5 consonants of the Beth Louis Neon and the Boilbell Loaf. And in the Irish Oceanic Song of the Forest Trees, it is described as the very battle witch of all woods, tree that is hottest in the fight. Though a poor fuel tree like the willow, poplar, and chestnut, it is prized by charcoal burners as yielding the best charcoal. Its connection with fire is shown in the romance of Branwen, when Gwern, Alder, Bran's sister's son, is burned in a bonfire in country districts of Ireland. The crime of felling a sacred alder is held to be visited with the burning down of one's house. Wow, there's a lot going on here, and this is interesting. So, Bran the Blessed, right? Bran means the raven, and he's one of the great heroes of Welsh mythology and a major figure in the Mabinogion, which is really the story of his sister Branwen, right? The white raven and her abduction. But you see this energy of this fiery tree, this tree that is turned to charcoal, that can't be built with. Interesting. And it's also, the tree is also one of the first 5 letters, which is wild. Interesting. Let's continue. All right. We're now going to go to The House of the Dead by Jeremy Reed. Okay. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Jeremy Reed? Inspire us this evening. I'd fought with him, drunk with him on my ship, watching stars burn red in the galaxy, or diamond blue, and his achievement skills were devastating in the field, wanted no rank, just asymmetrical intelligence in every maneuver deployed solo across the killing field and unrestrained, served in Blair's Middle East, where genocide was law, and when we rampaged through Baghdad, it seemed that all mythology was war, conditioned by depleted uranium. Ooh. I fought with him drunk with him on my ship, watching stars burn red in the galaxy or diamond blue. Brothers of circumstance and experience and of struggle in a myriad of forms. His achievements, skills were devastating in the field, wanted no rank, just asymmetrical intelligence in every maneuver, deployed solo across the killing field and unrestrained, served in Blair's Middle East where genocide was law, and when we rampaged through Baghdad, it seemed that all mythology was war, conditioned by depleted uranium. Wild. Because often, it is easy for us when we look on these stories like the Iliad or the Odyssey, where there are these great wars, to see them as these fantastical adventures where Achilles is simply a hero. Achilles is not just a hero, he's also a genocider. It's part and parcel of the whole thing. War is always awful. And the Greeks understood this. This is something that has been lost to us because we don't fully read the original source text anymore. We read it through summary and through Disney-fied visions of it, Real war is always a nightmare. And the greatest of heroes are always the greatest of villains, Let's continue. All right. L'Autrement, Malidor, and other poems. Muses, got my hand. What is the message from L'Autrement? What musical beauty there is in the incomparable melody of his voice. What musical beauty there is in the incomparable melody of his voice. This is a profound image. This makes me immediately think of the master of the muses, Apollo, who is a grand singer with that lyre, or Orpheus, great singer with his lyre. And that great song, the muse and the music is part and parcel. And all of the original rites were sung. All of the original poems were sung. So much has been lost in our modern time because we do not fully comprehend the music, right? The universe itself is an unfolding of song. It is that expansive energy, as the Shaivites say, that spanda, right? That ever-expanding heartbeat, that pulse of the drum. Beautiful. Let's continue. All right. We're now going to go to A Sinister Assassin by Antonin Artaud. Muses, what is the message from Artaud? Inspire us this evening. Here and there, religion is the putting into practice of an archaic ritual that is now more or less lapsed, but magic that is in fact a sinister one, perhaps but a fact. Without any ceremonial or ritual, without any practices of theurgy that have become frozen, magic exists as though it were the sweeping wind of a fact which has never stopped, wiping out everything. Now, this is beautiful and mind-blowing. Recognize that magic is a living creative process and should not be bound by ritual and tradition in the way that it has become. These things limit us in our creative connection. We're trying to harmonize with the song. We're trying to engage and project into the future, to be a part of that expansive flow. To do that, you must be creative, right? There's much to learn from the past and much to be gained, but to be bound in tradition and into that literal repetition is to no longer be in that creative flow, right? Let's read this again. Here and there, religion is the putting into practice of an archaic ritual that is now more or less lapsed. But magic, that is a fact. A sinister one, perhaps, but a fact. Magic is the flow, the breath, the voice, the story that is continuously unfolding, right? Are you adding and writing your own story? Are you projecting reason? Are you engaging in that hermetic practice, or are others doing it for you? Is your will singing your own song? Are you harmonizing with that greater tune, or are you lending your tune to someone else's muse? Without any ceremonial or ritual, without any practices of theurgy that have become frozen, magic exists as though it were the sweeping wind of a fact, which has never stopped wiping out everything. It's physics. It's a fact of life. It is that life breath that forces us into generation. And it does it through that death and transformation. Oh, Artaud, what a wizard. All right. I think that is great for our sortes. I don't think that can be topped. So we are going to now hop to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. It boosts everything in the algorithm. And please, if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, you can reach out to me, Snappy, ddts@gmail.com, or find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. All right. And we are going to start today with our Thoth Tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. We are going to invoke that energy of Saturn. And we ask them to dissect our life, to cut it up and put it on the plate, to show us our interconnections. And we want to know, how do we rise above? How do we evolve? How do we overcome our present conflicts? How do we move in harmony, in concordia? And how do we manifest our true will? And what is the greater message for the community? And as always, the center card is our most important. And today's center is Wish, Venus herself, Aphrodite Kometho, drawing down that star, Aquarius, beautiful energy, wishing and imagining and calling out to the universe and doing that now in the present to create into that future, right? Powerful, beautiful energy. Seeing and recognizing that light that comes from that great mother across the infinite distance of space. What a beautiful way to start our reading. Where is this going? What is this wish about? It's a wish for transformation and for growth. It's about completing the process of the hangman. The hangman is that one who is standing and gazing into the abyss in order to gain that perspective. But now, once perspective has been gained, the next part of the transformation must take place. You must climb down from the tree and re-engage the world. Recognize the energy of Odysseus. When Odysseus confronts the sirens, he has all of his men place wax in their ears, but he himself is tied to the cross, to the mast, so that he can gaze at the sirens and listen to their haunting song. Hear it and yet be able to resist its force. Because through that perception, understanding is gained, expansion comes. But then Odysseus must climb down from that mast and re-engage in his journey. Learn to confront that image, confront that song, and incorporate it into his new self. That is what we are doing with this energy, and that's what this wish is about. In order to complete the transformation, you must continue to wish for the transformation. You must learn from the experience and move forward and re-engage with life. If you continue to hang upon the mast, you will die, right? Eventually the trial is over and you must move beyond, ever walking forward, ever moving forward in generation. Let us continue. What is the spark? What are we seeking? There's a disappointment. There is a lack of connection. There is a lack of flow. There is a feeling of not enough love. And there's a desire to bring that love in, that Aquarius energy, to draw down that flow, that galactic flow, that Rhea into our life, to transform this disappointment into the 6 of perfected balance, pleasure, harmony, mutual love, and flowing, reciprocal flow, giving and receiving in equal measure. What we see here is that there was an attempt to move beyond the 4, the luxury, right? That balance, to expand beyond our foundation. And we were met with disappointment, with love that was unfulfilling, love that was not reciprocal. But the energy here is to continue to push forward. Learn from this lesson. You know, I'm immediately thinking again back to that sortes where we were hearing at the beginning of that energy of the woman, the person who was taken advantage of, her loving kindness and her light vampirized by the lowest of people whom she continued to feed out of fear and need for loving kindness. This is about breaking free of that disappointing energy and about finding balance. You now see and recognize and understand what this energy is. You know the bad people now. Now you have to take that energy and re-engage in loving community, right? Often we are confronting this disappointment. Lessons are learned, but they're painful. And then there's a reluctance to re-engage. There's a reluctance to pursue. There's a reluctance to persist. But recognize if you persist, the 6 is the outcome. Persisting in spite of the disappointment, learning from the disappointment and expanding upon it, learning from the lesson, right? Wishing for that loving harmony, persisting in that desire, and this will transform into that balance 6. All right, let's continue. Wow. Yeah. We have the 4 of Cups, luxury, at the top of our square. And that 4 of Cups here connected to this star, right? This is about, again, what we see is this energy of being in a place where we have core relationships, people who we can depend on, certain people, parents, children, you know, that kind of unconditional love, right? But this kind of love is not enough. It's unfortunate, but it's true. For almost all of us, it's not enough. We need to be in many different types of loving relationships, right? We need many different forms of connection with many people throughout our lives. And what I'm seeing here with this wish, it's about expanding. We're so desiring to expand out from this base, to overcome that disappointment, to grow as a person, to move into that middle path in a deeply emotional, connective way, right? To not be ultra sensitive, to not be, you know, taken advantage of, right? To be in that reciprocal flow. Connected to the luxury, we have the tower. Transformation. What I'm seeing here is that for many, the energy of this four, right? That foundational loving energy that seemingly can't be broken was broken, right? Was broken. There is a disconnect. And part of this energy of the luxury is that we take these relationships for granted. We take these relationships as something, you know, and we take these relationships as something that will always be there. And when you do that, it can lead to negativity. And what I see, right, the tower is that energy of this coming out of the and blindsiding us, knocking us off our feet. Right. At the end of the day, it's necessary energy to bring that transformation, right? But it's painful energy. It's painful energy because this is that energy that's always supposed to be there. And there's the tower telling us that it's leaving. Where's this going? Oh, wow. Yeah. And this is leading to that ruination, mental ruination, overthinking to the point of self-destruction, right? Wow. It's almost as if the overthinking is causing the tower to collapse. And it's all related to this energy of the luxury, right? Seeking total fulfillment within this and then taking advantage of this energy, right? And refusing to expand beyond that energy to the point where eventually it ran out. And now there's this state of how do I break out of this energy? How do I begin anew? And the answer is you have to believe in yourself and believe you are worthy and capable of love and beginning anew. And you have to ask the goddess. You have to engage that energy. You have to wish upon the star. Wow. Let's continue. Beautiful. At the bottom of our square, we have the Princess of Wands, connected to that luxury as well. This is that energy of rebirth and potential, right? Out of that wish comes this energy of trying again, starting again. But the princess represents extreme potential. The princess foresees the universe, the completion. She is the reflection of that great mother. So what we see in this is that if there is this proper energy of nourishing, of learning, of growth, of expansive fire, of pursuing that fire, of seeking that virgin energy too, right? That great savior, that Estrella energy. Embodying this energy, we can grow and transform and overcome this. That's what we're wishing for, is this rebirth through that fire of the flame into that inspiring energy of transformation. Where is this going? Beautiful. And the key to this, to embodying that princess energy, is to expand your perspective, to be in truth, not to be in conflict, but to be in cooperation and understanding for the purposes of creation, of bringing about that blossom, of seeing things clearly. right? So this is not about engaging in battle. This is about engaging in understanding, learning to listen, learning to cooperate, to expand oneself. And this is an energy that's been reoccurring as of late. So take note, powerful energy. And this is a key energy for that princess's journey, for her to grow, for her to become that Venus, that great mother, to ascend to the star. She must expand her mind and give birth to the flower. Let's continue. And we do it through loving connection. We do it through loving connection and nurturing, partnership, the pursuit of love above all. Recognize love in harmony. Peace, love, and unity, my friends. That's the message here, right? And recognizing that you are a child, starting anew, beginning from scratch. And the way forward is balancing of perspectives, cooperation and understanding, and love. Loving connection, emotional connection, right? It sounds cliched, but that's because it's just the right answer. There's nothing else to be said. People want more, but there's nothing more than love. Love is everything. It's what drives the pursuit of love. It's also the pursuit of death. It's that pursuit of growth and expansion and generation. All right, I'm now going to flip the camera. And once again, I ask you, please like and subscribe. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, you can reach out to me. Those who have already emailed me know I'm on vacation, and I will get to all of the emails today and tomorrow. But I appreciate you all reaching out to me, and I love the support, and thank you so much. I hope to hear from more of you. And if you would like to reach out to me through Discord or just chat and join our community, we have a lovely community called Myth and Lore. You can find the link in the description, and I'm on Discord as Lady Snappy. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look. We'll start here with the Hangman. Oh, let me pull this down. There we go. There we go. Start here with the Hangman. Okay. Yeah, the Hangman is about seeing this perspective and seeing, you know what it is? We're currently in this Hangman moment where from that place of perspective upon the mast, we can see the failures of our past. And we know what we need to do in order to grow and move forward, right? The failures of the past are ones built of limited perspective and understanding, are ones that were born of conflict, right? Ones that were born of intellectual pride and selfishness. No one wants to hear this, but it's a truth. And many of us have been in these modes, especially as youths. This is just a common thing that most people have to grow through. But we can see that, right? And we can understand the solution. Expand your perspective. Take others into account. Collaborate to give birth to that flower, right? That comes out of truth and harmony and shared perspective. All right, let's continue. The star, right? What are we doing? We want to expand beyond that base, that foundation. We wish to grow. We are stagnant in a sense, and we are trying to move beyond that foundation and to create true loving harmony. And we do it through this wish engagement, through engaging the muses, giving voice to our desires, wishing upon the star, crying out to that great mother, right? And asking for loving and harmony, right? Without greed, without violence. And what do we want to wish for but rebirth and growth? transformation, beginning anew as that princess. Now we pursue our desire and our inspiration. We seek to become an inspiration. But we have to recognize that we learn and grow through experience and trial. And now is a time of learning and nurturing. We must be kind to ourselves, accept where we're at, and be in that momentum of driving and learning and growth. The disappointment, right? What's sparking all this is that in the past, we've tried to expand upon this luxury. We tried to move beyond this luxury and we failed. We failed before, right? This is something that has come up many times where we try to reach for the stars, to expand into community and loving harmony, and then we are confronted with disappointment. And what I'm seeing is the massive culprit here is this over-intellectualizing, overthinking, bringing ruination, engaging in conflict, right? You know, something that I've been thinking about a lot lately is because of our current nature of the online world, and anyone of you who's a similar age to me will have experienced this, where the vast majority of us have grown up in this age of hyper individuality and lack of community identity of any true sense. And what community identity we do have is as consumers, as receptors, as passive participants through the internet largely, right? Not in real connective form. And this has led us to this point where many of us struggle to connect and to accept the differences of others because we have been so privileged with the ability to pick and choose, right? And this is a painful realization in many ways, you know? And then sometimes, you know, what people say is just bullshit. And it's just leading to conflict if you're constantly worrying about it. And love conquers all anyway. Love conquers all anyway, right? You know, this is a lesson that I need to learn for myself in many ways, which is why I bring it up, because it is so easy to be in that hyper moralistic mode, judgmental mode, right? But often, if you're being judgmental, you cannot cooperate. You cannot expand that perspective. You limit yourself. You lead to your own ruination. And if you want to expand and enter into pleasure, loving reciprocal flow, then the only answer is love. The only answer is to nurture and grow. Right? All right. Let's look at our crosses. Yeah. The key to overcoming the tower and what we are wishing for coming out of the tower is love. It's all about love, baby. Love that great mother. Go out under the star, under the full moon. Draw her down. Fulfill your dreams. Be in that loving reciprocal flow and that connection. You know, and that will allow you to overcome the failures of the past. The failures of the past are a direct result of not enough love. And this is not saying that we're not loving people. This is about recognizing that we allow conflict to override love. Oof. And again, we need to stop thinking so much, stop conflicting so much, stop creating problems. Instead, create art. Limit your overthinking, expand your perspective through community, right? In that balance of truth and harmony. where a shared image can be created in the center. Right? She is that force that'll grant you reason, that'll allow you to overcome that self-despair. All right. So yeah, deep message today. It's about really going out under the stars, engaging with that Venus energy, with that great mother, Aphrodite Urania, Kometho, drawing her down and asking to bring love into your life, to be in love, to pursue love, to expand with love, and to have self-love, right? The loving strength to overcome that disappointment, to stand up for yourself, to engage and enter in proper reciprocal flowing energy, to have that love so that you can see when you're overthinking and leading to your own ruination, where you're creating conflict where there is none. To have that love, to be able to care for those who we take advantage of and we expect to just always be there, to have that love to grow beyond them, but stay connected, to have that love to reflect upon the past and to see our failures as moments for growth and transformation, that love that allow us to learn the lessons necessary from gazing from that perspective of the tree, of the mast, gaze into that abyss and be transformed. The love, the self-love needed to climb down from the tree and make the changes necessary with the new wisdom gained. And having that love to silence oneself enough, one's desires, one's needs, enough to accept the needs and desires of another, right? To understand that if you help them, they will help you. And together is where that flower is born. And to have the love to nurture the self, to go through the experience, to grow and to expand and to be that fiery, inspiring energy, to transform oneself from princess to queen. And there will be grand hardship. Recognize the journey of Persephone, for she is abducted, but it doesn't stay an abduction. It transforms into a connection that gives birth to Plutus, the divine child to come, and she ascends the throne and becomes the queen of the earth. But she had to go through all those trials nonetheless. And the key to all of it again was love. She overcame her abduction through love. She gave birth to a new generation through love. She healed the wounds through sky and earth through love. And that is what we are called. All right, my friends, that's the message. I hope it resonates with you. It certainly resonated with me. All right, let's do one final sortes, and then we will call it an evening. And we are going to go to, this is March Cost the Dark Star. All right. Muses, what is the message from Dark Star? Within the master's desk is seen, deep scarred by raps official, the warping floor, the battered seats, the jackknives carved initial. Within the master's desk is seen, deep scarred by raps official, the warping floor, the battered seats, the jackknives carved initial. Wow. The desk, the throne of an educated master. But what do we see in the throne are scars, the carving of the initials, the warping of the floor from walking and pacing, right? The battered seats. In order to maintain that seat of the master, that throne, it required a lot of struggle. And they had to carve their initials into the wood. All right, my friends. Thank you so much. Peace and love. And I hope I see you again tomorrow for more live tarot and sortes. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, reach out, snappydtts@gmail.com. Thanks again, everyone. Take care.